Alright. You guys are tuned in to episode 9. I always fucking forget. Episode 9.
Shit, we're at 9.
Episode 9 of the Lyrical Fix podcast with Sade.
Kid Pro.
And Val.
And we are here. Oh, go ahead, Pro. Go ahead.
Oh, no, actually.
No, you do it.
No.
You
Okay.
did guess last time. Go ahead. You did. You did.
All right, yo. We're here with this one special guest. And, yeah, I'm very excited to be here. They invited us into their home. Made us feel welcome. Can't get enough of these guys, man. Every time I see them at a show, ever since I met them, it's just been crazy energy. They brought me over to record some tracks and made some magic. Been on the Act 1 and Act 2 of their acclaimed series that's been sweeping the streets right now. Yo, man. We got straight to the point on the Lyrical Fix podcast. We got LB the Great. We got St. James. We got Villa. We got Epidemic right now. Guys, what's up? What's going on with y'all, man?
Technically, STTP has us in the building.
Well, yes, technically, yes.
So we are honored to be here.
Yes.
We're honored to have you.
Guys, how you feeling? How we feeling today, guys?
Amazing, man.
Awesome.
Amazing. Fantastic that you guys are here, man.
Yo, thank you so much for having us again, man. We usually record this in another spot in Lodi, VFW, where it's actually where we do the check-in open mic every month, hosted by Sade.
Yeah. Mama Bear the plug.
Where I met SCTP.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Sade.
Hey, we met Kid Pro too.
Oh, y'all already? Oh, yeah. Mama Bear the plug. You got the sound effects? Oh, she had the sound effects. All right, we got that pop.
Check. I was like, wait, which number is it? Which number?
Word. All right, yeah, no doubt. Yo, real quick though, I mean, before we get into stuff with the guests here, guys, how was your week?
My week was good. I just was working, basically getting things done, practicing for the upcoming event that I currently have coming up, and it's called the Art with Therapy, right? And it's in a park, right? We're gonna be
The
it's gonna be
Therapy
located
Without a Degree podcast that they're doing their art show.
Exactly where I'm gonna be at. So I'm gonna be there. Your pro's gonna be there. Guest is gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You know, so it's gonna be like really dope. So like I'm pretty looking forward to that. So I just been pretty much saying head high and pretty much been good, positive, pretty much.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, Mama Bear, what's up? How's your week been though? What's good with it?
A little bit hectic. So I'm past it, so I'm not going to even mention his name, but I'm just getting... So actually what was the show? Last Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Last Thursday was the check-in and open mic night, and the day before I even started, is when I got the footage. It was right before I started, is when I got the footage from September. So I'm not going to put anybody on blast. I'm moving past it. But yeah, I've been spending the past week trying to edit all the footage from September and October.
No spice?
No spice. No spice today.
Keep it friendly.
Yeah. I don't got the energy. After this week, bruh, after this week of like the last episode had spice enough. Pro was like, oh my God, how'd you bring that up again? Nah.
Yo, you really surprised me with that shit. There was some shit that went down with somebody that we won't mention right now. But yeah, you just you brought it up out of nowhere.
Oh, the videographer that was sensitive in his feelings? Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
No, because he said some things. You don't talk to...
I didn't mean to bring it up again. I swear.
Guys, how about before we talk shit, how about we do our research on who we're talking shit to?
I fell right into the trap. It's always happens. I didn't mean to.
Let's do our research before you talk shit to somebody who, I don't know, works weekly and damn near talks to daily. I don't know. Because that might be a problem, but you know, whatever. Yeah, that was spice enough, so I'm going to chill on this episode a little bit. And I'm a little sick. Mama Bear is sick and tired right now.
Oh, that's what's up. Get us some cough syrup.
Once I finish this footage, I mean, you know, the hustle never ends. So I'm saying once I finish this footage, the footage is pretty much done. It's just that I'm thinking about the next and the next. And me and Val got shit. And I'm just like, So I think this week, because all the footage has been adding to it, that I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm sleeping in extra. Me waking up at like 12, 1 o'clock, I just feel like, oh, so shameful a little bit about it. Because I can't get an early start. And then I got like the paying job and shit like that. So it's been a little hectic. I feel like I got to, realign myself and recenter. I'm still in that mode where I'm like, how am I going to get back to what I got to do? Because I know people know that I do a lot, but when you actually see what I do, it's like, oh, shit. So, yeah, it's extra.
I'm done.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Okay, no.
How was your week?
My week was pretty cool from when we last met up and everything. I actually got some sleep. Like, I got a decent 8 hours of sleep, and I realized, like, how, like, refreshed and energized you feel. Like, nobody at work was pissing me off. I usually get extremely angry. There was no grimace. I almost had, like, a smirk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a level above a grimace. People say I usually have, like, the male version of a resting bitch face, resting dick face.
No, Google provided that answer.
Yeah, so I instead of calling it that, I called it a grimace because I didn't really like the whole dick part. Pause. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, after 8 hours of sleep, you'd be surprised how great you feel. So, yeah, if I could just recommend everybody, get some fucking sleep. Holy shit.
Yeah, for real.
Man. All right, so before we move on, as always, we got to remind you, because we didn't say this before at the beginning, that you can find us on Anchor, Audio Mac, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we on motherfucking YouTube. So any way that you can join those things, all those, and please rate, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that goodness. Give us up there, get us up there in those algorithms, you know what I mean? Make us look good out here in these podcast streets. We're working really hard. So with that being said, let's move on to STTP. Guys, what's up? Please introduce yourselves, please, for everybody who does not know you. Come on.
Who's going first?
Yo, what's up? This is LB the Great.
Yo, what's good? This is St. James.
My name is Villa.
What up? This is Epidemic.
That's what's up.
And then we're missing how many more? One more or two more? One more?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Shout him out.
Indeed.
Right?
Shout out Indeed. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yo.
Texas.
All right, that's what it is. All right. What part of Texas?
He out in Dallas right now, living
Oh,
his
Dallas?
best life.
Nice.
Living
I
his
heard it's
ultimate
amazing
best
out
life,
there.
man, for
Only
real.
been there once for like some work shit. Stayed at a hotel. I didn't really get to see Dallas and shit. The food was good though.
Yeah, I need to go.
Food
man.
was fucking dope. That's what's up.
I
No,
would
shout out to
definitely
Indeed.
fucking made time. I've been like, oh no, I got lost. Yeah, I got lost all right.
Yeah,
The whole fucking day.
You're right. Yeah, I did hit a couple bars, but yeah. Nah, Dallas is dope. That's what's up. All right, yo. So welcome y'all again.
Thank you for having
For
me.
real.
Oh.
This is mad dope.
Come on, man.
For real. That's so dope.
It only felt right. You know what I mean?
Word.
Because every time we've seen y'all, especially every time since where exactly did we meet?
We
Saint.
met. I met you at the Check It where you was the featured artist.
Is that where we fucking met?
Yeah. That's
All right, so
Yeah.
word up. That's where I pretty much
the
met all
plug-
y'all, and
the
from
plug is
there,
involved as usual.
Yeah, for real.
Mama read the plug. See, what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I hear like everybody's stories are the same, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually okay, cool.
Yeah, that's how STTP season started because of that platform.
Yeah, when I was looking through the feature list, I was like,
It's a
like
lot,
95% of these names.
Yeah. We on counter with that. We on
Yeah.
counter
Beautiful
with
That's why I
that.
do it.
Yeah, man. But
So dope.
yeah, so man, instantly the first thing was your energy, was that I felt
For sure.
like just show me mad love. I think you said you had heard of me from somewhere before. I think that was how the conversation started, and then instantly connected. And then what I also noticed was like the crew aspect that you had. Everybody was together. It was a team. It was a unit. And then I got to meet the rest of y'all the same night. And we've been kicking it ever since. We've been, making some music together, and I've been getting to hear music from you guys, exclusive shit. You know what I mean? So I felt so at home and so welcome with y'all. You know what I mean? The vibe is right. So, like, let's just get right into that. How do y'all feel about being a crew, being a unit? How does it all start? How does it work? How does the chemistry help y'all get better? Like, deep dive into that. That's what I'm here to hear about. You know what I mean? Teamwork, chemistry. What does it mean to y'all? Being that you are a crew. That's the first thing I see.
I think the OG should answer this.
OG.
I mean, they just my family, man. That's really what it bubbles down to.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie is always there. Like, we move past life stuff, and we get to our craft, and you know, everything is just every time we just collaborate on something or we just like speak on something in general, it's just great energy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we feed off of that. So.
Okay. Now, how long y'all known each other, by the way?
So, like, basically, we've known each other since high school. I would say I've known I've known Villa since he was 6. We was pen pals in elementary school.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
very
talking
good.
about what, in the mid 90s, what, 95,
Yeah.
94.
Way back.
You know what I mean? Epidemic I known since high school. That's 06. I met him my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And LB, I've known her since, I'll say 08. I met her in 08.
Like 07?
Oh no, yeah, 07.
Yeah, like 07.
So we all individually have been doing music for a very long time. I would say I've been doing music since I was 11. I'm 31 right now.
Okay.
I've been making beats since I was 13 because my oldest brother was showing me, you know, he had a studio and everything. So I was always inspired by what he did. I found out Villa just through being in class together sometimes. He had notepads, so we would share notepads.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Pass around the notepad.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, snap. So then we realized he was dope. But I was in my brother's crew at that time, and he had his crew with NDEED, which was originally straight to the point.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay.
And then when I met Epidemic, he made beats also. And that's just from there. I mean, behind the scenes, we've been...
So that's the origin story for STTP. Okay.
Yeah, we've been
I got
recording
it. Yeah,
for so long. Between meeting through friends, I've been, you know... We're mainly me and Villa from Hackensack, Epidemic
Yeah.
being from Englewood,
Yeah.
and LB being from
all over.
just from Jersey,
All
in
over the
general,
USA.
you know. So it's just a Jersey music original, friends and family coming together, being a story, you know. And we all just have our own talents and realizing we're all just like, oh shit, like we like each other, like for real. And the music is dope for real, and we like each other as artists and as people, and we've known each other so long. It's just, and then once you just go through life together and smoke together so much,
No, yeah, that certainly builds a bond.
cry together,
Yeah.
cry together, you know, all that shit, you know. Yeah,
Okay, all
those
right.
bonds form.
Now, the music, where is it being recorded?
Mainly like just everywhere. I mean, mainly
Yeah.
here at the greenhouse, you know what I mean, at the crib, but music has been recorded just
In the city.
and yeah,
Vanilla
we've been to the
Sky,
city, we've
Vanilla
been
Sky
to, Vanilla Sky
Studios.
was fun.
And that's when
Record.
y'all were starting out too, or was that in something like more local?
No, we used to, man, actually
Remember
no,
when we
real
used to go
talk.
to that what was Homeboy
In Clifton,
in
right?
Clifton, where we
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
have to
man.
climb a ladder.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
we
he
was
looked
risking
like
our
Dale.
lives every time. We
Nigga
like
look
we gonna
like
get this
Dale.
recorded.
He looked like Dale from Step Brothers.
Yo, it was like a,
Just like him.
it was like a, you know how,
Oh man,
it's like a, you know what it was like? It was kind of like a garage. You know how people build up
Yeah.
garages?
Yeah, yeah.
It was kind of like that, and you went inside, and it was a pull down ladder from the ceiling. Like, so we went there, and we saw him pull down the ladder, and we was like, so, like, we about to jump this nigga, or like, so he pulls down the ladder, and we have to go up the stairs sideways. So we like, doop doop doop, and we get up there, and it's a whole fucking studio with a
That
booth
shit
and
is
everything.
crazy.
And we was up there, and
That's
he was on
crazy.
some shit like, you can't bring so many people, and we was like, but we're all
Fuck.
recording, so what are you
Right,
talking
like,
about?
yeah, like-
He was like some, I don't know if he was Russian or something like that. Something to that
Yeah,
effect.
something to that
But yeah.
degree.
Pull down
We used to
ladder.
But he
do
had
it.
the heavy accent. He was looking at us like, yo, what are y'all doing? And we was like, my nigga, you got us climbing ladders.
Fam,
Like,
it's like it was like, hey Arnold, like
we was in there.
like
yeah.
the whole pimped
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
room
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit, some
We
shit
was in
like
there
that,
recording
for
them.
real, for real.
We was getting
Yeah.
busy.
So yeah, we used to record anywhere, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes even in closets, wherever, man.
Fact.
Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
Wherever.
we
I feel
definitely
you on the
recorded in the
closet.
closet,
Many
yo.
a moment
Yeah,
in a
just wherever we
closet
could.
at what we called the vault, which is Epidemic Studio.
Yeah.
Yo, we used to be, this room was not large at all. And all of us used to be in there somehow tight. recording in the closet, and we was in there having the time of our motherfucking lives.
Facts.
We had the LED lights popping. We knew we was lit.
That fucking TV too. There was a TV.
Oh, that was the spot, the vault.
Yeah, the vault.
That's what it is. Okay.
The vault, yeah.
It was getting busy.
All right, man.
So,
So
it's
that.
like
on the music,
we was
you feel
recording
me?
music.
Is the vault a place or it's just wherever you guys are?
No, it was Epidemic's house.
Epidemic's
He had like a studio set up and like a side room in their house. And so we used to like record, then his mom would feed us. Like
Some dope shit.
Yeah,
some dope shit. Really dope shit.
Oh, wait,
for real.
Colombian food? Straight?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Little bit of everything. She would just ask like, "Hey, what are you guys hungry for?" And if she can make it, if that's what they wanted, she'd come up and bring it.
Oh, you was getting everything.
Yeah.
Well, my stepdad, he's from Virginia, so like he does like all the fried chicken and everything. So like sometimes he would cook and we would have that. So like they get whatever they want when they come to my house.
Wait, so because he's from Virginia, that's fried chicken? Wait, I don't get
Well,
it.
he's Southern.
Oh, he's Southern? Okay.
He's Southern. My bad.
Is Virginia Southern?
For sure.
For sure.
My bad. I always thought.
He's Southern. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting into that already, huh?
Nah, it's not. No, we gonna get into nigga, we gonna get into that?
Yeah, no.
Bro, that was brought up before.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, we can.
Wait.
Are we? Wait, hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
Continue.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying about food. Colombian food.
No. You need yours.
That was Colombian food.
All right. Wait. Hold on. Are you finishing my bad?
Nah, go ahead. We good. Nah.
Are we getting in this fight?
No.
Are we doing it?
Ding 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 ding.
What's about to happen? What's going on now?
Fight
Oh
about
no,
how
you
there's
weren't
a Central
around for it.
Jersey.
Yeah, no, there's no Central Jersey.
Yo, fam. Alright.
So I'm trying to understand this. So
I'm
it's
trying to
just
understand.
there's North Jersey and then there's South Jersey. Is that the argument?
Yes.
That was the argument.
Well, no, because Saint came up to me. He's like, "My bad. We're just talking." He's like, "And you know, there's a Central Jersey, right?" I'm like, "No, there is not."
Yes, there is.
No, there. All right.
It's clearly like,
So
especially when you
what-
go down GSP, like, won't you hit like Clark? Like, that's Central
Clark
Jersey,
is
man.
south.
That is not, yo.
Clark
Yo,
is definitely.
Yo, it has a
once
blend.
you pass the airport and
Wait,
you pass
so-
Elizabeth, you South
So what would you
Jersey.
consider like Roselle?
I worked in Clark. That I used to call and be like, "Yeah, I'm working in South Jersey."
So Roselle, what would you consider Roselle?
Right.
I would say that's north.
Central
No, that's north. That's north.
Jersey.
Shut up. It's north.
Once you're not sure. South Jersey.
Once I start seeing signs for the shore,
The shore, yes.
we've reached South Jersey.
Well, no,
Man, you see that?
be
You
kinda
see
early,
signs?
though.
No.
That's
You
early.
You see signs for the shore at fucking Paramus that like from
No,
17,
okay, no. I mean like
17
not
north.
those signs. I mean like you know when you reach like 102,
Well,
exit
okay.
102 on the Parkway.
That's south.
I think
Yeah, exit 11.
now we getting south.
Exit 11 is
Short
like
point says
exit 11. I think is it the borderline?
Yeah, that's south.
That would be the border.
11
so
off the
anything
turnpike?
past exit 11 on the Parkway. Oh no, on the Turnpike.
Turnpike. It's south.
That is
That's
all south.
That's a fact.
Past anything, exit.
What is exit?
One
Wait,
four-
what's exit 11?
139.
What's exit 11?
Huh?
What's exit 11?
It's like heading into short.
It's,
Oh, yeah. I agree
it's
with that.
On the Turnpike,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to Parkway.
Yeah, I agree.
So sorry for anybody listening outside of Jersey.
So Central Jersey is exit.
This is Jersey shit.
14, 13, 12.
13's Elizabeth. That's right where the airport is.
And I'm saying,
Central Jersey?
oh whatever.
I'm just asking.
There's a north and south. There's no central.
Tomato, tomato.
Let's just figure this out because we're gonna ask this for everybody.
Tomato, tomato.
So
What?
I believe.
north and south.
It's just north and south.
North, Central, South.
North, Central, South.
Just north and south for me.
North, Central, South.
I feel like we're voting.
You said anything past. Sorry, go ahead.
North, Central, and South.
North and south.
Okay.
So it's STTP crew and then Lyrical Fix. Oh, shit, that was
That's
funny.
good. Riders.
I dig it.
Everyone
I
to ride.
dig it.
Ride.
I dig it.
Nah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You were
respect
just
that.
saying, and you were just saying that exit 11, everything is south.
Yeah,
you
but the exits in between there, Central.
Right.
It's not.
Which was, I said
Where
14,
it's 10,
14,
like 10.
13, 12. Those are Central.
To me, that's like there's north and then there's south.
So then what happens to the in between?
No, there
There is no in between. It's just cut in half,
11.
north and south.
Oh, you're literally just you're splitting it.
Yeah, and then some
So
of
like
what's in between.
Parsippany is like north.
Parsippany is
This-
wait,
this-
hold on. Parsippany is definitely north. Parsippany is like
Yeah, I was just about to say that was.
It's northwest Bumblefuck.
I don't know. I just feel like if it takes me more than 30 minutes to get there, it's not
Parsippany
part of the
is
north.
Parsippany. Hold on, go ahead. You know.
How does Parsippany even come up in the conversation? That's where I grew up. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? Now this is
It's west, but it's north.
I just feel like I have to travel so long to get there.
No, it's
Parsippany's great.
No, I'm not hating.
I'm just playing.
Parsippany is great. Okay. I'm like the last person that anybody should ask about geography, so.
Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm horrible.
You start
I'm the
rubbing your
worst.
knees like this, man.
Oh, this
Kid
nigga.
Pro starts rubbing his knees like this, there's something going on. And somebody's about to catch something. So, yeah. So.
I guess he got up,
I don't-
started talking about Parsippany. I got hot.
He said, what?
You got ultra defensive.
God.
Yeah, I've never
We
gotten
wasn't
defensive
trying to
about
disrespect
Parsippany before.
Parsippany,
That was
though.
never my thing. No.
Wait a minute.
I grew up there. Like it is what it is. Like
Listen, I'm not the best at geography. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
that wasn't my
Yeah.
strong suit either.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
into
had
math, straight up.
I always tell her like, yeah,
I was
that's
into
that on the map.
English.
Like, yeah, still North Jersey.
English,
Yeah,
reading,
yeah.
writing. I didn't really care much for math.
Yeah.
Suck at math. Not my strong suit at all. Now we talked about you guys growing up and everything. I want to get into how LB the Great got into the picture of STTP.
Oh, shit.
So let's start about that. Now, how do you come
This
into the
is so
picture
important.
Yeah.
with Saint? Yeah, I know.
To this group.
Yo, so, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so my boy D, we was working at ShopRite. We were cashiers at ShopRite.
Okay.
And sometimes we would be next to each other, and he would always laugh at me because of how I was talking to the customers. Like, if you threw money at me, I was throwing the money back. Like, that type of shit. And he would just be like, yo, you're so crazy. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, we became friends. Like, we started chilling in the store. Like, we was work friends, you know what I'm saying? And then one day, we also worked with his cousin. And one day they were talking, and he was like, yo, I got OC. So we about to get it in. And I'm like, what the? I should have just invited myself into the conversation. And I was like, what is OC? And he's like, yo, I got open crib. He was like, we about to turn up. I was like, oh, I'm coming. So I invited myself, and we went to chill. And that's the night I met Saint.
Okay.
I was chilling in the car. I was smoking a blunt. And he came up to the window, introduced himself, and shook my hand. And I was like, that's just not some shit you see every day. So I was like, all right, I think we're going to be friends. And, we've been friends ever since. And then, just hanging out, being a part of, getting to know everybody. That's how I ended up meeting Villa and Epidemic. Like, I met them after the fact. So, and that was it. That was all she wrote. It's crazy. Like, it's kind of like we were friends first before we really got into music.
Gotcha.
Within being friends, we discovered our mutual love for music.
Okay.
And then, so we already had an established friendship. And then it was just like, through that friendship, it was like, oh, shit, you love music, we love music. Let's, I think we could do this shit. And I was ultra like, oh, no, I'm not an artist. Like, totally not.
Took years to convince him.
Years to convince me. And I'm like,
Years.
no. I was like, maybe I'll write. I'll write for somebody.
Now, were you rapping, singing?
Then just strictly singing.
Okay.
Yeah, just strictly singing. And I was like, no, I sing for you guys, but that's about it.
Okay.
But they just would not let up. Like, they wouldn't leave me
You
alone.
kept pushing.
No.
Yeah, they wouldn't leave me alone. They wouldn't let it go. They wouldn't let it go. I appreciate them for that to this day. Like, they would not let me let it go. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, bitch, I hear what you're saying, but I don't hear what you're saying. Yeah, so they was like, nah, you're going to write these songs, and you're going to sing these songs. Like, what are you talking about?
Hit you with that peer pressure.
Yeah. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I can rap too.
Yeah, and she did a verse to a song that we did.
Bruh.
Called Buildings.
Yeah. But even before that, it was Power, right? Was it Power?
Nah, Buildings
Nah,
was first. Buildings was the very
Buildings.
first. And I was like, yo, we had
And she
actually,
just pulled
we was living in Charlotte at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, we was living in Charlotte. And we was like talking to them like we would be like video chatting or on the phone or whatever, and I was like, yo, I think I could rap now, and I did my verse over the phone, and they were like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, that shit was insane.
And then we just encouraged her from there, man, and she
That's all it
just
was.
evolved into this singing and rapping. Just she can always sing, but it's just it's crazy. She just broke out of her shell over the years, and it just I'm so happy.
Yeah.
We're happy, and that just added an
Yeah.
element because before that it was just she just adds a different element to SW that we don't have. Whether it's just strong feminine power or just singing talent, just the way she comes up with ideas is just different than me, and she just adds that. She just makes us complete. Like after that, I feel like we just
That's a fact. Yeah, that's so true.
we just elevated from there, bouncing shit off each other.
Yeah.
So
And it's like, like, it's not just the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, aside from the mutual love of music, like, we eat together, we cry together, we be mad together, we fight together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're actually living life together. Like, it's straight family shit. And that shit is just different. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you see us move the way we do, because it's different. Like, nobody can come up to me and say, yo, Villa is such and such and such and such. I'm gonna be like, the fuck out of my face.
nigga never.
Nobody can never tell me nothing about Villa or Epidemic or Saint, or D. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have that bond where it's like, please. Like, I'm not trying to hear nothing you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we are able to move the way we move, because it's like, those are my brothers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to have a bond like that.
Yeah, man. That's what I was talking about before when I met you guys. Like, there was a solid crew love there. Like, you see other crews there, but you don't see the connection and the bond and, like, the inside jokes. And the one thing that I noticed a lot that we were doing before off camera was the singing. Y'all just, randomly just come out, song and dance or whatever. And it's all y'all hitting the harmonies and everything. It sounded beautiful every time, man. Sounded pristine out here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo,
I just
these-
had
Epidemic out here
Yo.
on the low hitting the bass and shit.
it just happens sporadically. So
That's the best part
Yo,
about
nah,
it.
but
Yeah, man.
these niggas made me a rapper, but I definitely made them singers.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
fact.
Ah,
I
okay.
hear
Yeah.
tunes all the
Yeah.
time.
All right, because
All
Villa
the
be
time.
going off.
I mean,
Yo,
all the
we be
time.
in here dancing and doing all type of shit. And it's like,
Just earlier, the comment about, oh, we were singing. I was like, all right, keep fucking around, make y'all a boy band.
Yeah. No,
Oh, shit.
Yo, we be singing.
Y'all got the boy band name if that goes down?
Oh shit. What?
I don't
Yeah.
even know.
Nah, we need to think of
I
that.
don't
I'm
even
still
know.
working on
That-
it.
I got to put some thought into that.
Because it's you, it was you, Prospect, and Trill in the video, right?
Yeah, ladies. Bro.
Okay.
And
No,
Trill,
but I
they
had
all
to cut
still
it at some
women.
point. So the three of them were
Can't
singing
get
to
behind
Val,
that.
and
That'll
Val's just there
steal
doing
me
some
behind
shit, and she turns around. You see her face. She's like,
I'm
"Shut
kidding.
the fuck up." They had to be there singing for mad long for her to be like, "Whatever, okay."
No, man, it's like I was saying, the connection is all there. Now, one person that I've met more recently is one of the producers from STTP, Epidemic, man.
yeah.
My brother.
What
My
up? What up?
Colombian brother.
What's
Hey.
good? What up?
Yo, what part of Colombia, by the way?
Medellin.
Medellin? All right, got
Yeah.
it. For me.
There
know
you
what I mean? I don't think I've ever been to Medellin. Nah, probably haven't, but fucking beautiful.
Very.
Fucking place out there, man. Now how long you born there or
Nah, I was born here.
born here? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, man. Now, you've been producing for how long?
Oh man, like 10 years now. About 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
What program you use?
Reason.
Okay, you fucking Reason the whole time?
All the time.
All right.
Just recently, like, just recently, maybe like 2-3 years ago, I started using FL Studio.
Okay, all right. And how'd you get introduced to it?
Watching other producers use it, but then I realized why they were using it. It was for like the VSTs, like the much better programs
Okay.
that Reason didn't have at the moment. So I just started learning how to use it for that, and then I would just export and then go everything else, do it in Reason.
Ah, okay, I got you right now. All right. That was some producer nerd shit, 'cause
Yeah.
I like the shit too, so I feel you on that.
Appreciate it.
I see. Yeah. Bill knows what it is. Now, I know that you've been collabing with the guys in the crew here on the beats. Now, who else makes beats here?
Indeed makes beats.
Indeed makes beats.
Saint
Saint
James.
also makes beats.
Saint James.
But you guys have collabed on beats as well. All
You know,
y'all.
I dabble.
LB, she's got some
I
production
dabble
on
from
there.
time to time.
And have you and Indeed always known each other prior to that, or it's like?
Yeah, I met Villa first, and then from there he introduced me to St. James, LB the Great, and then Indeed, and then from there just the bond grew.
That was it.
It was it from there.
Oh shit, son. Okay, that's right, indeed. Now I also got to meet. I think your brother was there before too.
Yeah, that's the Elements.
Elements.
Brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out.
That's my
Actually, I didn't get to
mentor.
meet him, but we saw each other in the crowd and shit. Yeah.
Man,
At that IG love. Shout out to
The
Elements.
resemblance between them is crazy.
He the reason why I do this. Man. Like he, everything I know.
Damn, it was like that. No, I didn't see him. It's like that. Oh shit.
No, it's like that, yo. No, for real. We really
You
looking
can
like
tell that they are brothers. Like,
no, for real. But yeah, he's my mentor. He's taught me everything I know, man. Him and his best friend Black, they're the Elements. My brother's name is Nemesis, and Black Scorsese. They create the Elements. It's a duo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
you know,
crazy. I used to work with a producer named Nemesis. That's crazy.
word.
Yeah, who made that song "No Chill" that I performed and shit.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
motherfucker. That nigga's name was Nemesis. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to him, I guess.
Yeah.
With the have that as a,
Yeah.
is that her name?
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Nemesis. I think they spell
Yeah.
it the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like a small world. Yo, my man. So, Epidemic, producer influences, because I've heard a little bit of everything from you.
Yeah,
That's my thing. So I can't call it.
That's what I love about it.
All right.
I don't want to be categorized, but Boy Wonder, Timbaland, Pharrell, vinyls.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Big producers right there. Yeah, big heavyweights right there.
Let me ask you some other shit. The first beat you made. Be
Uh,
honest.
I know.
Sucky, trash.
Very trash.
Very trash.
But I think it's called Not Finished.
Oh my god.
Absolutely not.
for the record, he always says shit is trash.
Yeah, but he's
Okay, he's got
and
that.
it's the
yeah.
I'm saying just the
complete
first beat he
fucking.
ever made.
Not first beat
opposite.
though. First beat.
I
First
bet
beat
you it's
ever
not.
made.
I bet you it's not trash.
Because my first rhyme is fucking whack. If I could, I don't even remember, but I'm sure it's fucking whack.
Here's the thing. He says Not Finished is whack, right? But at the time, I didn't. First of all, I just found out that was his first beat. I didn't know that. We rapped on that. We thought that was fire. So for him
Fire.
to say that beat was trash, I'm not sure. So you know what I mean. But that you know what I mean. But maybe it's trash. I don't know. We was rapping on. We loved it. I was like, damn. He's saying it's trash. This guy's great.
I'm about quality, so like I didn't think.
feel you.
I,
time, so
looking
now
back,
you feel
right?
like,
yeah.
Yeah, when you're a perfectionist. Oh, my
Very
bad.
true.
Yeah, when you're a perfectionist, it's kind of like, no, like that's not good. That's not good.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, like when I have to edit the videos or like do anything, I'm like, nah, or like make the flyers and shit like that and logos. I'm like, nah, I ain't fucking with it. I show like 10 people and I take a vote. I'm like, all right, let's take a vote. And then that's it. And then I hit up like my graphic friends and they're like, all right, maybe do this. Maybe add like a little extra percentage of this. I'm like, all right. So I get the whole perfectionist thing. And because I'm trying to think. My first like piece like written out, yeah, I think that was trash. I read it the other day. I was like, nah, that's not about it. Yeah, it takes a while to get to that point where you feel comfortable with putting it out like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if I can write something like a month ago and be like, nah, I don't like it. I can like just make something. I'm like the flyer was good, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, I should have done this and I should have done that.
Oh, the flyer for the featured guest.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
The trying to perfect things. That's
Talk about
something
it.
that I have struggled
Talk about
with
it.
because I am somebody who likes things to be a certain way all the time, and if it's not that way, like it's like bothersome. You know what I'm saying? But recently, I feel like I've been more so trying to embrace the imperfections, because I feel like it's part of what creates the experience. It's part of what creates the memory in my mind of this moment when I felt like this and I was doing this and I was going through that and I was dealing with this and I was feeling good about that. You know what I'm saying? It's the imperfections that make you remember how you felt in that moment, and that shit is beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
To look at yourself, and then when you make improvements, you're looking back and you're saying, damn, like, these are things that I didn't like, and look where I am now compared to then. And then you can see it. You can see the progress. You need the imperfections for that. If everything's always good, you can't see where you're improving. So I'm trying my best to look at it in that way.
Same boat. Yeah, I'm definitely on the same boat where I'm just like, oh shit. I got a baby voice. I need the mic. Yeah, I'm in the same boat where like now, and I tell Val all the time, like, just fucking do it, because I have to tell myself that, because I go through such a long process of anything that I do that I'm like, I don't fucking like it. But I never really, I guess, not that I don't like anything I do, but it's that like there's little things that bother you where you're like, nah, that's not perfect. Now that, but then at the same time, well, I had to tell myself, like, is anything ever gonna be perfect? Let me just put this shit out.
If you really just think about it, right? If you really just think about it, if you take the emotion, you try to take the emotion out of it, and you think about it, you're like, okay, so I didn't get this right, or I didn't get it the way I thought I wanted it. But I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm still going to be breathing, and I'm still going to have the power of choice, and I'm still going to have my intelligence, and I can figure this shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not a failure. It's just I tried it this way, and this way didn't work, so now I'm on to the next way until I figure out what way works best for me. And then when it doesn't work that way for you anymore, now I'm going to find the next way. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's the same way with life too. And I think I've mentioned that to someone this week as well, like one of my friends, and I was like, listen, at the end of the day, we learn through pain. We do. Pain is harsh. Like there's a song that Snoop Dogg came out with, De La Soul, right? Like pain gonna make you better. You know, time gonna make you feel, you know, look over your shoulder. You know, like it's like that kind of meaning is like it's real. We have to break in order for us to understand why we even did it in the first place, to understand where we may failed, right? And then try to perfect that in that way. It's harsh, it's the ugly truth, but you have to get there, and then after that it's like boom, you ready. And it's like, you know, like a phoenix rising through the ashes kind of, or you know, like you're reborn into something different. And I think everybody should experience that period.
Facts.
In life. And everybody has that different awakening and at a different age, but like it's something that is just crazy. I've literally been through that like 2 times, so it's like I'm just letting you know.
We gotta stop being so hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
crazy.
truth. Nobody is your harshest critic besides you. And it's like sometimes we can get into a habit of like beating ourselves down and pointing out all the things that went wrong instead of really looking at the shit that we're accomplishing every day.
So true. So true.
Right? And it's like, yo, I got up today and I went to work and I didn't beat nobody's ass and I didn't get arrested. You feel what I'm saying?
I was on that. That was my week right there. I was just in my own bubble.
Saying,
I was like, listen, I have a positive bubble.
Yeah.
And it was getting into
Today at work, it was fucked up. My manager looked at me. He's like, how's it going? I'm like, I looked at him. Actually, I can't believe I said this. I'm like, looked at him and said, terrible. And he's like, tell me how you really feel. I'm like, no, that's really how I feel. Like it was one of those. He didn't know what to say. He just looked at me like, okay. He just kept walking. Thought I was being sarcastic. Yeah, man. Sometimes that shit gets to you. You know what I mean? But you're right, man. I just try to pick myself up and try to feel better about what's going on with myself. Just, you know, there's always light at the end of the tunnel type shit, man.
At the end of the day, everybody.
Yeah, man.
This is our first time having this experience like this. You got to remind yourself of that. If you remind yourself of that, then you're like, oh, okay. Well, this is my first time being, you know, whatever age it is that you are.
Yeah.
This is my first time. It's not like I've had practice at this before. Like, this is my first time being 21. This is my first time being 25. This is my first time being 30. Like, I can cut myself a break. Like, it's okay that I'm still learning. It's
right.
I don't have to have it all figured out. Like, it's all good.
For real. And that's
and then
what.
When you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, this is not so bad then. Like, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I get those times where people are like, oh, you do this and that. Like, how old are you? And I'm 26, whatever. They're like, damn. Or like I meet other people my age that aren't doing as much, and I think that's what puts it in perspective for me, where I'm like, okay, because I've had people tell me like you can chill, like, you know, you're still young, right? And I'm just like, nah, I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. And I'm like, oh wait, never mind. Like I got mad. It's not even I think about time running out or anything. I when I get excited about something, I just want to do it. I want to fucking kill it. I want to knock it out. I want to not move past it in like negative way, but move past it and feel like relieved. Like, all right, I did it. Everybody loves it, kind of thing.
You better stop rushing that experience. You better feel that whole
Live in the
entire
present.
thing.
No,
Live
I
in the
know.
present more.
You gotta be
I've been trying to
present,
learn
Because
that
I'm
too.
so ready to go. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, but it's
That's
like
my problem.
present.
I gotta work
If you're
on.
not enjoying the moment,
Yeah.
in the moment, then what the fuck?
I know. I started doing that at Check It. I started like just
You gotta chill and enjoy your
Yeah.
fruits of your labor. You know what I mean? Because
that's
if
why I
you just
usually
working
yeah,
hard,
that's why like
you
I'll
ain't
take
playing
some
hard.
time, like I'll run outside real quick, and then I'll just stand there like from the outside of Check It you can see inside, and then I'll just be watching you guys watching the performance.
Yes.
And like that's when I take my moment. I started
be
doing
like,
that
I
probably a
did
couple
this.
months ago.
I did
Yeah.
that. That's what you need to say to
It's
yourself.
starting
I
to hit
did
me
that,
because
bitch.
like people will come up to me and like prospect. Everybody was talking. Prospect on the side was like, you know, you did this, right? He's like, this is you. And then everybody else, like I hear the stories about everybody meeting each other like through the show, and then even like us making the podcast like come out, and then people walking up to me like oh, shout out to Maria. Bloop, bloop. She wanted me to make that sound effect. It's one of our managers at work, and she saw me preparing posts for the open mic, and then she was on her way out, like we were outside, and then she's like, are you even listening to me? And I turned around, I was like, my bad, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, oh, look at the video, I'm gonna post it tomorrow. So I showed her one of the videos, and she's like, oh shit. She's like, oh. So she followed the show, then she left. She went home, met us at the bar afterward, because Wednesday nights we go to the bar after work. And then she's like, so when I had to walk the dog and feed him and clean a little bit, I went through this whole rabbit hole I went through your show to your page, to the podcast page. I'm like, oh, I gotta hear it. I saw a clip of the Law and Order. She was just like, oh, I've done that before. And then from there, she started listening. Yeah, so like... Yeah, so it's those moments where somebody, like she had came up like afterwards. She's like, so what happened with that couple in Miami? I'm like, what couple in Miami? She's like, the podcast. You said you were gonna bring it up, and then you guys and you never did. Like, what? I was like, oh yeah. I told them off air, and then I told her. She was like, yo, that shit was killing me the entire episode. I was like, I wanted to hear about the Virgo and the Leo that are together. I'm like, oh, my bad. I was like, my bad. So it's stuff like that, and like, you know, guest shout out. Of course, every episode we gotta shout out guest music. He hit. Man, he's damn near like our number one fan. We have to.
Gus is the man.
We got to.
I love Gus, Shout out to Gus.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to guest
I'll
music,
get
yo.
messages as he's listening to the episodes. He's like, ooh, that's spicy, or whatever the fuck he said, or some shit. He was
Yo, shout out to y'all, for real. Shout
for
out to
real.
y'all,
Shout out to
because
y'all.
what y'all doing is really dope, and we appreciate it. Like,
And it's crazy that we're having this conversation about like trying to move past. Like, I think that's what the SW season and us finally coming out and performing this year is all about. Because it's like for years we were being those perfectionists. I think that's crazy that we're just having this conversation. I'm sorry to go back to that.
About perfectionists.
Because for real, like the thing is, for years we were just in the background, just like we was only playing the music for each other.
Okay.
For so long, because we were just so unsure about what the fuck to really do.
In our safety bubble.
Safety bubble, and you know what I mean? So it's like, but...
So only y'all recording, and you only giving beats to them? You're not selling beats at this point to anybody else?
Nah.
So it's just y'all just keeping it within...
half
the
of
whole
half
time.
half our friends don't even know we do music at this point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't touch it. There's a lot
So-
of people that don't know what
So it's like...
Word.
This year, it's like, yo, finally we coming out of our shell. Finally, we gonna drop this music. Fuck certain things, yes. Like with the STTP season project, it's like I would usually want to like get that mixed a certain way, but it's like, fuck it, we gonna release this just like this, raw files. Like people need to hear this
Embracing that
because I've been
imperfection.
just just living in the present. Because it's like, yo, sometimes you gotta fight yourself. and I can
Facts.
freaking keep beating up myself about certain things the whole time. So it's like, nah, there's so many dope people out here. There's so many connections. There's so many people that are like me, that are like us, that want to do this shit too. And we're all trying to figure it out. So it's like, yo, let's release this music and fuck these fears. And we all can do this shit because I think we're all doper than we think we are.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And like, let's just put ourselves out there. So it's like of course, certain things I want to be perfect on, and certain things, but certain shit is like, nah, the people need to hear it like this because maybe I'm bugging, and other people know more I'm not bugging. So yeah, sometimes that's all about living in the present and saying fuck those perfections at the same time. So yeah, so thank y'all so much, Sade. Yo, you.
Facts, yo,
You,
facts.
yo. I met so many dope people through you, so that's why this was nothing.
You're one of the dope people.
That's right. That's right. Now,
yeah, exactly.
kind of going off what you were saying before, because I think one of the things that we all have in common right here is that we all have other jobs while trying to chase this music dream.
Yes.
And you were just talking about half the friends that you have don't even know that you guys rap or do music. Now, how does that feel? Do you feel like you're cool with telling everybody that you do music? You're cool, people at your job, all that. Does that ever get in the way of what you're doing? Do you ever feel like that's something that has to be hidden? Do you feel like it needs to be said? Do you feel like it needs to be talked about? Does it matter at all? Yeah, I want to hear from all y'all.
Let
I go
Villa
through
tell
that.
you what he does.
I go, yeah. I never, and that's one thing. I never ask anybody what they do, really. I mean, it's,
No, what he
whatever
does
they
for
do is
his
whatever they do.
coworkers. He forces them.
Yeah, I do. Honestly,
He
I swear
makes
to
them
God.
listen to our music.
Yeah,
All right.
because
Real
what
shit.
the fuck?
You play in the car or something?
Absolutely.
There
Every
you go.
time.
All right,
Every
that's what it
time.
is.
Every
love
single
it.
time. Every single time. And they all tell me different like songs that they like, and it's just so dope. Like,
Oh, so they
everybody just
rocking
has
with
a
it.
different taste and stuff. So like, there's days I be coming in and be like, yo, my man's just fuck with I-80, yo, that shit was fire. He was like, oh word, that shit was dope. The next day be like, yeah, like LB had this fucking freestyle, the babysitter shit. So all of that.
And they really listen. They
Yeah.
rock with it.
Yeah,
Everybody.
like
So I just force myself upon people, not to sound the wrong way.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
It did sound like, whoa.
You just gotta get these bars.
I love it though. I love it though.
This shit is too good, so you gotta get
For real.
it.
All the bars.
Absolutely.
and me at my new job, straight up, like at any job I go at, yo, nah, you know when I do music. You're
Okay.
gonna know. Before I used to hide it, and at the end of the day, I don't know, like I'm not gonna hide who I am at work anymore, man.
Word.
Like this is also a talent I have too. I can do the shit that I do at work, and I do this shit also too. I have a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9, and I can treat both of them professionally. So y'all don't know what I do. I'm gonna be myself, because either way, y'all giving me the same check whether I'm trying to be y'all or be myself. So I'd rather just be myself.
Looking to preach that shit.
So everyone gonna know I'm a rapper.
Our friends knowing is like long time ago. Our
Yeah.
friends not knowing, I mean.
Yeah.
It was a long time
It's
ago.
been a minute.
Yeah. Nah, we was just like, oh no, y'all finna know about this right here.
When did you guys finally decide? Oh, sorry. When did you guys finally decide to okay, this is it? Like, fuck it, fuck perception. Like, you just gonna listen to it?
It was very recently actually. Believe it or not, yeah. Believe
Very
it or not,
recent,
our friends have known for a while that we do music. So it went from just performing for each other to just performing for our friends. And so our friends were like, they were digging in. They were like, okay, well, when are we gonna get the recorded version? Like, when can we download the song? Exactly. When can we play the shit?
When
And
is
we
it
were
gonna
like,
be here?
yeah,
When
it's
is it gonna be
coming.
there?
It's coming.
So much.
And-
So, how recent have you guys been doing these shows? Because I know we met at
July.
the feature show. You started in July, going out and doing these shows.
Yeah.
So, now how many?
Your show was my first show.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many? So, how many months? How many months of practicing is it? Because one thing I noticed is with the live show, y'all got that pretty much down pat.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen LB in a goddamn foot brace performing
real.
and kill that shit. First
Yeah.
time I seen you actually perform.
No, that's
That was the second time.
A second time?
Yeah, it was the second time. She damn near left her foot in the back. She's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep on going.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. I'm
Crazy.
going now. That's it. I'm like, I'm gonna bedazzle this fucking
Crazy.
boot.
And she bedazzled it.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that shit bedazzled, bro.
So I'm gonna
Nigga.
bedazzle this goddamn boot, and I'm gonna get on this
Come
stage and I'm
on.
gonna fucking perform.
Something about it on Instagram. Oh, I seen something about the bedazzled boot on Instagram. I'm like, the fuck she got on her foot? And then, not like 2 seconds later, she pulls up, give her a hug, and then I looked out. I was like, oh damn, that's for real. I was like, what happened?
Yo, true story. The first time I performed in July, my foot was fractured, and I just didn't know.
Yeah.
My foot was fractured
You
for
had
about
found out about it after.
Yeah, for about like a month and a half. And I was, I did everything. I was performing. I was dancing. I went to fucking Coney Island, got on every ride, and my foot was fractured the whole time.
Damn.
And only afterwards, I'm like, say, I'm like, this shit's
Y'all
not
were
getting better.
y'all were in the middle of like a tour, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I remember the first time. I don't think it was a tour. Because I think did you perform solo and then bring them?
Yeah, I performed. Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically,
Well, you came,
my
so-
first
well,
time
you know.
performing was all like March, April, and May. Like,
Yeah.
Your show was my first time performing
And we
too,
just
and then when we
cheering
came
on,
back
like,
and then when we came back in
shit.
July,
I'm really popping
that
cherries.
round
I
time
didn't know
in
that.
July is when we brought the crew.
It's my favorite saying.
Yeah, you're popping cherries. Yeah.
Popping all the cherries, honey.
Yeah.
Go
I
and
take
pop them
all. I
cherries.
take
Go
all
ahead,
of them.
girl. So,
Yes.
No, because who am I thinking about? Sodom. It was his. He performed at the September show. His first performance ever.
Sodom, the
So
homie.
Stupid. Sorry, I'm hearing shit in the back. His show. I forgot when he did a feature for Prospect, and then the next month came and did his solo, and that was the first time. His feature with Prospect was his first time like actually going in front of people and doing it. Yeah, and I didn't know, but I didn't know shit. And this is when I had I was on Berdan in Hackensack. I had the show in Hackensack for a bit. And he did a feature for Prospects, and I was me and my cousin at the time, Moose, who used to help me with the show, DJ. He was the back. He's like, yo, we need him. I'm like, I know, I'm working on it. He's coming back. I got you. So I found Sodom. I was like, oh no, anytime you hit me up personally, like you got to come back.
Right.
Then they came back, and then a few months later, he did an interview. I believe with We Are Jersey magazine. I think so. That's what it's. We Are Jersey, right? Yeah. So I know it was with them. And then that's when I found out. He was just like, yeah, the first time I performed, and then he shouted the show out, and I was like, damn, I didn't know that. But I'm just saying, for the first performance, vibe is on point. It usually takes a while. You could tell, but you couldn't tell with y'all.
Nah, because I'll say first of all, we're always like, all of us after work are pretty much always together for the most part on a daily, and we're either talking about music or practicing music or working on music. In between, maybe like watching a little TV and shit like that, but we're always talking about music. And when it comes to performances, I can say for myself, like, especially certain jobs I have, like anytime if I have 20 minutes, like I used to drive 20 minutes to work, I would put my song on repeat and just practice on repeat over. Then I try to rap to other people's beats with the same song. I'm constantly practicing. We're all constantly practicing when it's time, doing the movements, we're doing everything. Like, we're finding that extra time to do it. And that's
man, you kind of have to. Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Just before a show, I feel like I got to find that time that week.
You gotta find that time.
I set aside some time at work, break time, whatever, and then at home, between the kids and stuff, to just find that time to like rehearse and shit. Like it's crazy, like right now, because I got like a 9-month-old. Excuse me, 6-month-old. Yeah, and a 9-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like.
Oh,
turn 9. So like I gotta like find time in between. Thank you. I got, It's all good. But yeah, I gotta find time in between to like take care of them and do my thing and everything like that. So I feel you. Yeah, man. Like
respect to the rap dads.
Rap dad. That's what's up. Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, learning the verses
That's
and getting
difficult.
the shit down. It's difficult. Yeah,
We made
man.
a
Making time for
conscious
everything
decision
else. You know what I mean?
Have children.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. Yeah, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So I got respect.
Listen, I'm way.
And I'm rapping.
I'm
apparently.
way
Rapping.
to myself.
Yeah. So imagine that.
Those
yeah.
are just the facts.
So.
Not like lazy about it.
Right.
I'm trying not to be. It's tough, man. But I don't want to fall back on that excuse, like, oh yeah, because I got 2 kids. Like,
No,
it's
but
just-
you're out here doing it though.
yeah.
So I mean,
It's
like,
tough, man.
That's
you
what
know.
made me want to
it's
work
tough,
with
but you
bro.
doing you doing it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
your hustle is
Yeah.
Respect.
yeah,
Thank you.
all
Thank
respect.
You, thank you. And we're back. What's good, y'all? Lyrical Fix Pod, Kid Pro, Sade, Val in the building with STTP. What's good, y'all? Take a little break one time for the time. Okay. Yeah, man. So before outside, we were talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll get into that later. Those little topics.
Yeah. We'll get to
Are we
that.
still doing the run through?
No, for now, I think we should talk more about STTP.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now
Let's find out about who they are.
well, let's go with what we were just talking about before with stage fright.
For sure.
Now, I met y'all at a show, and I got to see y'all perform. Now, what are your experiences with stage fright? Is this a
What
thing
was
that
your
we all
first-
go through as with
Yeah,
artists?
what was your first time breaking through your stage fright in your life?
Oh, okay. First time breaking through stage fright at church.
Okay, church. All right, what up?
I forget. I think it was like a New Year's Eve type of celebration, and me and my younger sister, who also sings, were asked to perform, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna stand in front of people and sing." It was fun. I did it. It was fun, but I was pretty young, so it wasn't really strong. The stage fright. It was just kind of like, "Oh, this is scary. Okay, I'm gonna do it." Then as I got older, I became more self-conscious. About the way I looked, about the way I sounded, about just a lot of things. So it became more intense. And I kind of shut down for a long time, like for years. I told you these guys basically had to convince me that I was an artist, even though I knew it in my heart.
Right.
They were like, "Come on, bitch, like, what are you doing?"
Now, was it like a conversation that you had with yourself? Was it a moment that y'all had together, like as a crew, to like make you take that step over the ledge, be like, you know what, I'm gonna get back into it?
Right.
Was it a certain song? Like,
Um,
what led to that moment for you getting there?
I think it was a series of moments. I don't think there was any one moment in particular. I think it was just being around these guys, like always talking about music, always bouncing ideas off each other. And after a while, it became harder and harder to deny was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was tucking it away, pushing it to the back, filing it away, way in the back. You know, pretending that it didn't exist because of all the other things I was going through, and it was just easier for me to do that. But they came along and they were like, "Hey, what's back there?" You know what I'm saying? They came with the flashlight, like, "What? I see something back there, and I need you to bring that forward." You know what I'm saying? So I really thank them a lot for just never letting me give up on myself, because I was done. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, "This is my time has passed. This is over. This is not a thing that I'm doing." But they wouldn't let me let it go. And then once I believed, I believed. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just crazy.
I'm glad you did too, man, because I seen you on the mic. I heard you on the mic with fucking problem.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Not just the singing, but the bars. Holy shit. The
Thank
Down
you.
Bad freestyle. I remember mad people talking about that.
And the funny thing is, she didn't even want to be on that song.
Right, I remember
Nah,
you
I
telling me
did.
she didn't want to be
I
on it.
did.
Yeah.
That's
She didn't
crazy.
want to be on that song.
I'm like, nah, I've never written like a remix like this. Like, I don't know if I could do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna come out right. They're like, nah, yo, stop.
And you went last on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say the best for that.
Oh, for real, man. That's how I feel
Oh
about
yeah, you were like
shit.
the perfect, like the topper, like the ending.
Yeah.
Where it was just like,
Mm.
ugh.
Oh, that's what we call us. What you call us our Sundays. This is what we
Yeah.
are together.
Yes.
Explain.
That's what I said. We're the three of us, all of us. But as far as like performing,
Right.
we're like a Sunday. Villa is the ice, like he's the base, he's the ice cream. He gets shit started.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And this nigga Saint comes through and he has definitely got all the sauce.
So,
He comes through with the fudge dripping. Like, what's up?
fudge
Caramel
dripping.
sauce.
You know what I'm saying?
Alright.
And then I come through and I'm the whipped cream, I'm the
Aight.
cherry, I'm the sprinkles,
There you
and
go.
extras on all three.
Right,
You know what I'm
that's
saying? So we perfectly come together and make the Sunday. And then our niggas, Epidemic, NDEED, they're the fucking dish. I mean, like, we're it's the sundae. How you gonna put the sundae on the table? You know what I'm saying? So they're the chalice.
Right.
That the Sundays carried in. You
Put on no goddamn napkins.
Yes,
bro.
we are a Sunday.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking perfect.
That's a great fucking metaphor. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Say you wanna.
We've been here talking about all kinds of
y'all
shit.
had bass.
I think Sid wants to say his little.
What's up?
No, I was gonna say,
I mean, I just like to
when you
just
go,
start off, you know, whatever beat we're working on, I like to bounce ideas off of each other, and that's how
Right,
we should start it. And once we do, it don't really matter the order. We just like destroy the beat every time.
Oh, good. Yeah. I wanted to get into that. So, do you guys have a certain way of working your music, getting it together? Is it a vibe that you feel? Do you wait for NDEED, Epidemic, Saint, whoever's producing to craft a beat on the spot, and y'all think about it? Do you come with an idea first? Like, what's the writing process?
For me personally, we have like a batch of beats that we just skim through.
Okay.
Whatever I feel, I just go with. I just base it off of the title that either him or Saint or NDEED, like Sin City came about. For example, Sin City, the title was just called Sin City for whatever reason.
Right.
So I just bounced it off of that, and that's how it just came about.
And then I do the same thing.
Feel me? So
Yeah, like I'll just go off the name of the beat.
Thought into it, I just go with whatever the title is. All right, let me see what I can come up with.
Or yeah, good man. See, that's some rapper shit right there.
Yeah.
Yo, but this guy always coming with ideas. He's like, hey, I got an idea. I think we should make a song about X, boom, boom, boom. And we like, yo, that's crazy. And then that's how a lot of our songs like come to be. He's like, yo, I had this idea. Or we'll just be bouncing ideas off each other. Like, we've all collaborated separately and
Right.
together.
Because everybody kind of plays their part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we can be in the car, like there's been moments where we've been in the car and we just play the beat.
It just went off top.
Off the top. Just think of something, humming something, repeating something. And he's like, yo, that shit's crazy. We get back here, we show her, and then all of a sudden we have a song. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
You know what? And there's another thing I want to have to go back into the performance thing. What saying we were talking about this earlier. Now, how does it feel when we're at these showcases and it's like you're coming at people and they just kind of looking at you a certain way, and then they talk to you after the show and they're on some like, I didn't know if you were gonna say what's up to me, or they nervous coming up to us and shit. Like we dealt with this a couple of times with certain rappers we were speaking about before. You want to like delve into that a little bit, like how this is at these showcases where you're meeting these rappers, like the different personalities that you come across and run into. Like, describe your experiences with that situation.
What I'll say is, everyone's trying to figure themselves out, and sometimes, that will lead to situations where if you don't know yourself, people will try to know you for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you have to be sure of yourself of what's happening. And, people don't mean bad by it. And people don't, but everyone's just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So sometimes people may try to put you in a box from what they see, but really that's just what they see. That's not who you may really be. That's why I try to show love to everybody, as much as I can. That's why, even if, certain things, people don't mean what people do people things. That's a saying I say about it. And they may not mean to do certain shit, or they may do certain shit. And I just try to give people a chance, and people try to give me a chance. You try to get a working relationship and try to know who people are and try to make the best of it. And some of these people are really good people, and then sometimes it's, it may not work out, or it may not be what you want. And I try not to take none of it personal, but you definitely have to know yourself out here, because people may be casting you as maybe intimidating, or casting you as a certain thing that you're not. Again,
you should come to believe him at one point.
Exactly, and that's not the people want to say perception is reality, but I try not to make that my reality. So that's why I try to show love to everybody, and try to break that, whatever that weirdness of whatever that is. That's it. So.
Yeah, I do realize that a lot with like younger MCs that we come across in these shows. Like a couple of them be like awkward sometimes, and they approach and they don't really know how to talk to you. Like, why do y'all feel that is? Is there something going on with this younger generation of rappers, or just society in general? Do y'all feel like it's something with these kids, they really don't know how to communicate with people? Like, I always get that when I meet these rappers that like sometimes with you and me they're like 10 years younger than us. You know what I mean? We're considered like quote unquote OGs over here.
Yeah.
Because we older and shit. But I run into them, it's like they don't really socialize like normally. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like it was different from when we were younger and shit. Like, do y'all feel that when you go to these shows?
It's normal for them.
I think it's normal for them, but I believe like in this thing where more things change, more things stay the same. Every generation has their different type of communication issues. Because for the younger people, even though maybe they may not know how to be as socially outside or like in-person interactions may be weird for them. I mean, there's people who are my age and older that have weird ass interactions too. It just may be different. Like some of them, like for example, I definitely get a lot more love shown from some of the younger folk than some of the older folk.
Facts.
As much as maybe the younger folk may do certain things or whatever, move certain ways, they're more open to showing love sometimes than older folk, and vice versa. So I don't know, man. Again, that's why I say people do people things. Just every generation has their own situation. Like we know what going outside is before the internet. They may not. It's every generation has that.
It's crazy. We that generation that knew what it was like before. And
shit
we're
like
definitely
that.
in the middle.
I was there for the telephones in the car.
Yeah, I got my AIM screen name and all
I didn't
that.
even have one. I thought that shit was fancy as fuck. I was in
thought
a
it was
taxi
like,
that had a phone in there. I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
Mom, what's that? What's that?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That shit was dope as fuck.
What? It came out.
It's
like
I've
in
seen on
the
TV,
summer,
like,
right?
That's when street phones were always
That
out.
shit crazy.
Street phones were always out and active.
The phone booths.
Yo, yeah. Payphones, yeah.
I lit one up
Oh,
on
payphones.
Main Street.
1-800-COLLECT, call ATT.
I remember calling my house collect.
Mom, pick me up,
and when
I
you're
miss
supposed to say your name.
Yeah.
The pump when you're supposed to say your name, be like, "Hey mom, it's me. I'll be home in 10 minutes."
Yeah,
And she don't accept the. Then she doesn't accept the call.
Voicemail. That's what voicemails were important.
Right?
Yes.
Now you put a voicemail says.
I just think
Right.
no, but when it comes to like these newer kids and they see you guys perform, I think it's because they take account your age and like, okay, that's not my generation or whatever. They take it as like, oh, you guys must be professionals. I mean, which you guys are. I'm sorry, I know you guys just started, but you guys are fucking pros. Like, y'all up there. So I feel like, I guess as somebody who watches it and just finding out all this shit,
Right.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like they're intimidated, and it's nothing to do with the grimace. No bitch or dick face. No. I think it's more like the fact that you guys are super talented, and they just kind of like, I don't know how to approach this because they're new into this. Like they're still like Saint, like trying to figure themselves out. So when it comes to, and like, I mean, I had that problem like when I had to like, okay, if I want to build a platform, I have to get myself out there and meet artists and like introduce myself and force myself to like, no, you're gonna fucking know me kind of thing.
Right.
And it takes a while for somebody to figure that out, and I think it's one of those things. So it's
But I think
generational,
also, like,
but also that.
Going back to what you were saying, like when you were at that certain point, right? Let's go back to you guys. When you guys were younger generation, you were in the same age as them. You guys acted way different and approached it way differently. I'm sure you guys wanted to take that mentorship. I'm sure you guys wanted to take those, keep riding and keep doing that stuff because that's all you guys wanted to focus on. But these guys have all of these things, all of these accesses from everywhere now. Things that you guys didn't even have, before.
I feel like
that's even an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys could definitely use that with who you are as an artist and as a rapper.
I feel like age plays a small role. I feel like it does play a role. I feel like the thing that maybe separates us from others or what has people a little bit unsure of how to approach us is the confidence level.
Exactly.
There's a certain confidence that we come with, and I don't think it has to do with our age because of maturity, you know what I'm saying, going through life experiences, but I don't think they're looking at us saying, oh my God, those people are older than us. you know, how do we approach them? I think it's more like, goddamn, like they
yeah,
like they
it's
up
a
here.
professional thing, yeah.
Yeah, they're up here
Like, oh, they gotta be pros.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And saying, damn, like, what's going on there? Like, how, you know what I'm saying? So I think that is, but, like, anybody, I mean, we approach people all the time. Like, people, I don't know, I guess people expect us to be standoffish or, like, you know what I'm saying?
Arrogant.
Like, arrogant. Like, listen, I am
higher up.
1,000% full of myself. I am. Like, there's no doubt about it. I am full of myself. But that doesn't stop me from showing you love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me being full of myself has nothing to do with my love for you.
Right.
It doesn't take anything away from me. It just means that I'm saying, yo, you're mad dope. Like, the shit you just did was dope as shit. Like, and I don't understand why people don't really grasp that concept. Like, me showing you love is not taking away anything from me. It's adding to myself. Like, I don't know. People don't get it.
Yeah, they just gotta pick up. Sorry. I think it's more like, it definitely is a confidence thing. That it's where they're like, oh, they gotta be professionals. That's it. And it's all, I mean, it's a little, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's a little of the age, it's more the confidence. And I think, like, they're still trying to figure themselves out. They're still trying to be like, how the fuck do I get that much confidence in myself? Because they're still trying to, like...
And then they start projecting.
Exactly.
Like,
There's the whole
it's not just young people,
thing.
though. It's people our age, too. They just start projecting shit.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I'm like, wait a minute. Those are your feelings? That is not how I feel about myself, so I need you to back up with that.
It takes a while for somebody to learn that. Unlearn that.
Yeah.
Like, how to, like, the whole projection thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out.
People don't
but,
get it.
yeah.
People don't, like, and I try to be, like, you know what I'm saying? I try to be as
years ago.
understanding as possible because people usually don't understand that that's what's happening. Like, that's what they're doing. I don't think it's, like, an intentional thing. It's just, like, okay, that's not me, that's you, so I'm not going to wear that. I don't accept that. You can keep that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it takes a long time to get there, like, for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know yourself. Like, that is some different level shit. You think you know yourself, and then you find out you really don't as much as you think you do. And it always happens, you know what I'm saying? And at the moment when you feel like you know yourself and then everything is settled is the moment you stop growing, and that's...
Exactly. No, for sure. That's always been my... forgetting. That's always been my thing, is I had somebody tell me, like, you're always learning. No matter if you are, like, the busser or the VP or the fucking president of, you know, the CEO or anything like that, you're always learning. And the moment you think you know everything is the moment that you are going to lose your place. You're going to lose your job. I mean, and that wasn't even in, like, my music side. That was more like, you know, my restaurant side. And it placed it for me, like, and he told me that probably, I think it was like 20 when he told me that, and that was, you know, like 7 years ago. So now I still think about it even more, that, and my boss at the time, that was his motto, like, you never stop learning, no matter what position you are. And also his other motto is, you're easily replaceable. Yeah, that little Puerto Rican motherfucker used to keep me on my toes, man. Ugh, God, he used to keep me on my toes. Exactly. And I think that it's important. Hold on real quick. Little audio editing. I think it's important. I think it's important to remember that, in the music business especially, where everybody's so, like, popcorn and, like, okay, we heard it. All right, what's next? And what's next? And you're so easily, you know, replaceable and shit. We have to remember that there's still room for growth. And I think that's what's going to attract the listeners. That's what's going to get people to really pay attention to you. So where new artists are worried about perception, the perception is what matters. You're worried, but you're not gonna be heard. You need to worry about perception. I mean, not worry about perception. You need to just not give a fuck and just get it out there. And it's the perception, good or bad. At least somebody heard you. At least you got it out there, because everybody's replaceable, and that's exactly how you grow. Is you learn, like, oh, you don't like this because of this, well, I'm going to work on it and give you something better, kind of thing. So I think for, like, you know, for music, that's definitely important. Sorry, I just dropped some gems, but I ain't doing that. Shit hurt my ears. I ain't doing that right now.
That's alright.
You want to?
Force.
Okay, I did it. That's right though. I had to move the headphones real quick. No, but what I want. Wait, hold on. Stage fright. Did we talk about stage fright?
No, I didn't.
Go ahead.
So, shit. I made a decision. I'm someone that lives in the future and the past at the same time a lot, and that's why I always have to tell myself I'm living in the present. I always be planning and always thinking about my past bullshit. And after a while, I was like, God damn, I need to just learn from the past, keep moving forward, and that's it, right? So after fucking years of just planning and making lists and planning, I'm like, yo, I need to like actually go outside and do this shit. Like after a while, like there's only so much I can do behind the fucking keyboard. Like there's only so like so like then also a few life experiences made me realize there's certain types of regret that I don't want to live with. There's certain chances I need to take. And rather say that I tried and failed than say I didn't try at all. So it's like, yo, let me just go ahead. Like this past April, it's like I'm finally gonna like fucking start performing this shit. Like I'm gonna go outside, and I just I don't want to live with regret. I rather try now and see what happens than live with regret and shave off years of my life. I have plans to live to at least I'm 100. So at the end of the day, like whatever I can do to not have regret, I'm gonna just do it.
What do you remember about that first show back in April?
The craziest shit happened. I fucking fell in love with performing.
Okay.
Except I was fucking shaking. I was nervous. I was trying to have a shot with Moose. My fucking hand started shaking. The shot spilled out. Fucking couldn't get
I
myself
remember that.
together.
I seen it and I was just like,
Fucking nervous
Moose is
as
over here getting my
fuck.
artist fucking fucked up and shit. I blamed it on him.
Nah, no, that was my nerves.
I even
told
yelled
him
at him
straight
about
up.
it and I feel bad.
Nah, he was like, yo, no, there's nothing to be nervous about. I was like, yo, nah, I'm nervous. He's like, yo, you good. It's all good. I'm like, all right, cool. I was nervous as shit. I was shaking, so I started drinking more.
God damn, bro. I would
And
never
then I
guessed.
got up there, and then I was like,
That was it.
I'm like, yo, I fucking love this shit. I fell in love with it. I feared it the whole time. I was scared of it the whole fucking time. The whole time for years. Fear.
You were one of the first, right? That went out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started the like newbies go first a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got that like, oh, like that usual reaction, like, oh, fuck, well, okay, fine, all right. That was all I got from you. I didn't even get, I mean, I know like I usually run around and shit, but I didn't get anything from you. Usually I know when somebody's nervous, and then I'll be like, do you want to start a little later? It's okay. I'll break my rule if you're that nervous. Like, I get it. But my thing is, like, for newbies, if you watch everybody that goes up, then it's like you're never going to want to go up.
Yeah.
Right.
But you didn't seem like a newbie at all, I'll tell you that.
Well, that was a poker face. Like, try not to let no one see me sweat too much.
It was the
Unless
same
you know
thing.
me.
Same thing for you. Same thing for Villa and LB. It was just me working, and then the fuck? Okay. I was like, oh, you got my attention now, and I'm just there watching you guys. It was one of those.
It was like a nervous thing in thought. It was like here when I was here sitting here thinking about it. It was making me nervous. But once I decided I was gonna do it, there was no nerves. So people were asking me like, "Are you scared?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "For real?" And I'm like, "No, I'm about to go kill that shit." Like, because I had by that point I had made up my mind. So I'm like, once I get up there in my tutu, me and this tutu are gonna kill
Oh,
it.
with the tutu, I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm not somebody
yeah,
who
girl, you have me
asks
twerking
anything.
on the side. I'm over here trying to like do the rest of the set list. I was like, oh, okay.
Hey.
That was fucking fire. I was like, oh,
Thank
she gotta
you.
come back. She gotta come back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know that was your first time though.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first time as LB the Great. I've performed, you know,
Yeah, but LB the Great.
as LB the Great. Yeah, that was my first time, and it was fucking awesome. Like, I made it a point to want to do it at Check It, like, for sure. I was like, yo, I felt so comfortable. Like, the first time he performed, I was like, holy shit. I was like, wait a minute, I want to perform here. And that was the first time I had ever had that feeling. So I'm like, nah, this is gonna be the first place I perform. So
Oh, that's fucking fire.
yeah, I appreciate the love.
The plug.
Love.
The
Try.
plug.
Villa, how about you, man? Cousin.
Yeah.
Stage
What's up,
fright.
man?
Billy, do you have stage fright?
It's just nerve-wracking, that's all it is. Like, as far as, like, stage fright, I used to play the trumpet back in the 4th grade, so I was, like, used to being around, like, people in the audience and stuff. But this time around, it's just with, like, words, so it's just, that's a little more challenging. Doing that But you know, since he let off, it was just like a domino effect.
Yeah.
We all just
Yeah.
you know, went off to his vibe.
Caught those vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
One
pretty
sparked
much
the
it.
other, sparked the other.
That's it.
Word up.
And because he's saying, you know, here we are.
Yeah.
He's like a mastermind behind a bunch of stuff. I feel like
He's Professor X.
yeah, like he don't get the credit. You feel me?
Minus the
Like
real
yeah,
shit.
he's really
Yeah.
like,
He's the architect, for
yeah,
sure.
for real. So.
Big nigga, architect, and professor.
He has a
Yeah.
lot of
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
can call so many different things.
Because you just are so many different things.
That's what he is.
Professor X.
Every group needs a mastermind, so. But you guys always do. But you guys do your part. Everybody does their part, and
Yes.
everybody plays their role. And the way you guys mesh, it's so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like, and then just when it comes off effortlessly.
Thank you.
I'll fix it during editing. I just realized I'm like editing.
Yeah, you won't remember. No, that's what makes a team at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Pretty much. Wait, are we moving into everything? Keep it going?
Yeah, let's keep it
Close it
going.
down. Alright.
Anything else? Oh, I did have a question though. As a group, and you know, if you want to answer to, of course, what do you most hope to hear, like, when you play it for like a stranger or a friend, like your music, or a beat, or anything like that? What's like the one thing that you strive for in the music? Or it doesn't matter about like people's, like we've been talking about perception.
Yeah,
and shit.
okay, so yeah, it's twofold. So it depends on the song. So most of the time, because I've questioned myself so much now, I've reached the point where, for me anyway, I'm like, if I'm playing it for you, I already think this shit though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's for me. I enjoy
Yeah.
the shit. I hope you do. But if
Right.
you don't,
Oh well.
oh well. That's the point I'm at right now with music, because I enjoy it for myself, like, you know what I mean? And I hope that
Well, you guys
shit
started
everyone
off
has to
with just being it for yourself.
yeah,
So yeah, I get
exactly.
that.
So
yeah.
now it's like I just enjoy it for myself, and then, but certain shit at the end of the day, you know, I just want people to feel a movement. If I get some type of reaction, even if you don't like it, that means it moved you. If you don't
You got
get no
some
reaction, then
reaction.
I'm like, what the fuck?
The fuck's
That
up?
fucks with me more than anything. If you say you
Yeah.
don't like it, you like it, it made me move. If I see your shoulders bob, if I see anything, because I pay attention to everything. So if I see any type of movement, anything, that means, yeah, all right, that's all I need. I got an emotion out of you, one way or another. And that's my seal.
How about you
That's
guys?
me.
Oh Jesus. What do you guys most like strive for? Like when you play music for like your coworkers. Like what do you strive for in your music? If somebody hears it, what do you like most care about?
Their reaction.
Pretty much
Off
it.
the bat, yeah, their reaction.
I figure that's like the consensus, yeah.
Just like that they turn up the same way I do. The same way I like, you know, recite her bars, or his bars and stuff.
Yeah.
The same way I get hype up for his beat is the same. You know, I just want him to reciprocate the same. I'm gonna make him get to that point. You know, I'm serious.
Don't force it.
I was about to say Bill and the Enforcer.
That's it. That's it.
Don't force it. I like that.
That's dope as fuck.
Do you want
Anybody?
to answer the question
Oh, yeah,
about
go,
your
go,
favorite
go.
producer?
Oh, we're getting into that right now?
No,
Or
no,
we're
no,
just-
no.
No,
I
you
just
can-
never.
Oh no! Oh wait, what are you talking about?
Because he never got to answer any of the questions I feel.
I asked him about a producer
Yeah, yeah,
episode
yeah.
before.
Oh.
Yeah, and I gave that over.
Yeah.
Okay.
We mentioned that.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's
No,
what-
but I'm saying, well, my thing was like, what do you hope for, like, when somebody hears your music?
Yeah.
Like, is it just reaction, or is there like more? Like, do you want like that sense of gratification from like them hearing it and liking it, or you know?
Nah, to go off what Saint said, like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna play you something that I already know to me is fire,
That's
super
one of the
dope.
perfectionists. Yeah.
But I'm looking for any kind of reaction. Shoulder shrug,
Yeah.
I'm looking for anything.
Even like the face that twitches.
Something.
That,
I'm looking
yeah,
for
something.
any kind of reaction. Because
Yeah.
to me that means I'm heading in the right direction.
Mhm.
I don't need you to tell me that you're not gonna play it or you're gonna play it 100 times.
Mhm.
I just need something.
Mhm.
And then I'll just go back to the lab and just continue to
Yeah, because
you know,
definitely
work on it.
reactions. You get more from reactions than words.
Right,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna play like a booty popping song for an older
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to play something that's more in that area
Yeah.
that might coincide with him. But yeah, any kind of a reaction, I'm gonna take that and just run with it. Save the best for last.
It might sound a little strange, but I actually don't look for a reaction. Oh, sorry.
No, that was me.
I actually don't look for a reaction at all. I am, when it comes to my music, of course I want to share it with other people, and I hope that other people like it, but it really is like a self-journey. Like, it really is about me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about how it makes me feel. It's about me being able to express myself. And then from that, I hope that somebody gains something. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not looking like, oh, I hope everybody likes it. Like, I'm doing this to please others. I'm just not.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
That's just how I always. That's how I always.
It's like you're just looking for like-minded people that fuck with your shit.
Yeah, yes,
At the end of the day, there's going to be people that may not fuck with your shit, and sometimes it may not have nothing to do with your music. It can have to do with you. It can do all sorts of shit that have nothing to do with them not liking you. It can be multiple reasons. So if that's the case, rather than focus on, damn, this person doesn't like this, I'd rather focus on, oh, you know, this person likes this.
Yeah. I guess I could say if I'm looking for anything from anybody, it would be that you recognize my authenticity. Like, that I'm really just giving it to you who I am.
You being
Like,
you.
that's it. Yeah. There's no extra, there's no fake, this is just it. And if you can understand that, then I can fuck with it.
Yeah. If
That's
not,
what people
then
want never go
There's a
wrong.
door.
Yeah.
And you tend to find out when you see these people, like, especially live, you can tell who's really about it. And you can tell, like, you just kind of get that feeling, that energy from a person when you speak to them and when you see them on stage. You can tell if that's really them or not. They just playing, an act and shit. That's pretty crazy too. It comes out pretty evident, like that I've noticed, man. Lyrical breakdown, I would like to hear.
You go straight to lyrical breakdown?
I want to now going about songs and everything we were talking about before. You weren't ready? Oh, it was more for them, but if you got one, let's do it.
Then
So,
I'm okay.
yeah, so this is our lyrical breakdown segment. We're going right into it right now. I want to hear from the STTP fam about their song, verse, beat, whatever it is that meant something to you. Yeah, any genre at all. We like to ask every one of our guests, just recite something or just talk about it, whatever you got that meant the most to you. So lyrical breakdown. So start with LB.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Okay, well, this is kind of, alright, so first let me talk about one of my greatest influences.
Okay.
This happens to be Missy Elliott.
Alright.
I've had a lot of artists that I, look up to and enjoy their music, but there was something about the way Missy is so unapologetically herself.
Yes.
Whether it was something that she thought would be accepted, you know what I'm saying? She was doing things that were just off the wall, and seeing her really, it really did something for me, because it was one of those situations where it was like, whoa, she's not small, she's not light, you know what I'm saying? She's rocking a bald head, she's wearing a garbage bag, and she's killing the shit out of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? And it made me understand. It made me start to think about the fact, okay, it's okay that I'm different.
Right.
It's okay that I don't really fit in with the other girls at school.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually kind of cool that you're different. You know what I'm saying? You have to start to embrace that. And, it didn't happen right at that moment, but that seed was planted in my head. It's your parents tell you can be whatever you want. Your parents always instill that in you. But something about seeing her just did it for me.
Was there a certain video? Because that video with the trash bag, that shit was fucking dope as hell.
Yeah,
The Rain?
she was like, it was actually patent leather or whatever. Or it was leather something.
Yeah, it definitely looked like patent leather. Had a few patent leather things myself.
She's like, it wasn't a trash bag. Like, she came.
Nah, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah. That shit looked like a trash bag.
That shit didn't look like a trash
Nah,
bag.
it did, but it was just. I think it definitely had to be that video, but it was even hearing just the music first, and I'm just like, what is this? Who is this? Like, who is she? Where did she come from?
Yeah.
How is she doing this? And she's so confident, and it doesn't matter that she looks totally different than everybody else. Like, so she's just definitely been like, I think she's underrated.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, she'll get the credit she deserves.
But I think
It's
now
awesome.
more so than ever, people are really starting to
To
really
see
be
it,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
Even
like,
like
yo,
with
Missy was-
the songwriting thing too,
Mhm.
and then just like the honors. And I'll edit. So.
Yeah, she was giving us the visuals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no shade. Beyonce's doing her thing.
Right.
But Missy was been giving us those type of visuals where it's
Yeah.
like, what is
Right.
this? Where
Yeah.
did this come from? Like, what
Oh,
were
yeah.
you thinking? Like, how did you come up with this?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other ones, the videos that she had, they were fucking
Get
fire.
your freak on.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Every video she's ever done.
Every
Yeah.
video.
Is that what she spit in the mouth?
Yeah.
Freak on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the videos, but they're all kind of meshing. I'm trying to remember which one's which. That one was a good one though. Damn.
No.
But
What's the
yeah.
one where she dressed up like Mega Man?
Ooh,
Yeah.
suck it to
Suck
me.
it to me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
That shit was crazy.
That's
Yeah.
my shit too.
Good shit. Good shit.
And everything else, and I missed that VMA performance, but I seen that shit was good.
Oh,
So
she
that,
ends it with
Girl.
Lose Control. She had to.
Lose Control, that's the other one too.
That's
That's
the
big
other
song.
Yeah, with one girl that was in it.
That's all that is. She got
Alright.
hands.
So Missy Elliott, big influencer. That's what's
Oh, was
up.
I supposed to be bars too?
No, whatever you want, however you want to
Yeah,
describe it,
that's fine,
absolutely.
that's fine.
Oh,
You got some?
Do you have some? Do you have any bars that?
She always got bars.
I mean, I definitely have some bars from the song that is. This was actually supposed to be my first project, and it just didn't make sense for like where I am in my life now. But there's a song on there that really kind of changed things for me because prior to this, I was doing a lot of just like feel good shit.
Alright guys, that was the end of episode 9 with the STTP crew. Stay tuned for episode 9.5 for the rest of it. You're definitely gonna hear this shit.